Right, today we're going to be factoring quadratic expression. Factoring is rewriting an expression as a product of its factors. So what we're going to be doing is basically doing the reverse distributive property method. So in this video, when I have notes and steps written out for you, please make sure you pause the video so you can write down those notes. Okay, the first set of factoring we're going to do is we're going to be factoring a trinomial. It's a trinomial because it has three terms, 1, 2, and 3. And the coefficient, the number in front of x squared, the leading coefficient, is 1. And this is standard form because it's the highest degree to the constant. So the steps, you want to get it in standard form. You want to find all the numbers that multiply and give you C. And with this lesson, I want you to list all of them. In the future, you won't have to, but right now, I do want you to list all of them. I want you to add the number if C is positive and find the difference if C is negative. You need to match the numbers to B, and then you'll write your answer in this format. It's either going to be X plus a number or X minus a number. And I'll go over how you find which is which. Again, to write the notes, you can pause the video. All right, so my directions, all video is to factor. So it's already in standard form. Gonna get my little pen ready. Okay, so A is 1. So we're going to find all the numbers that multiply and give me 20. So I'm going to start with 20 and 1, 10 and 2, and I like to do it in this order so you don't skip one. 3 doesn't go into 20. 4 does, 4 times 5. And that's all the numbers that go into 20. Because it was a positive 20, you're going to add these numbers. 21, 12, and 9. You're looking for which ones added and gave you 9. Well, 5 and 4 gave me 9. So those are the two numbers that are going to give me my answer. So you need to decide, is 5 plus 4 equal to positive 9? Or is negative 5 plus a negative 4 equal to positive 9? And we realize that positive 5 and a positive 4 give me a positive 9. And this is our answer. This is where you stop. You don't have to do any other step. Okay, now we're going to find, it's in standard form already. A is 1. We're going to find all the numbers that multiply and give me 72. We're going to start with 72 times 1. 2 times 36. 3 goes into it, times 24. 4 times 18. 5 doesn't go into it, but 6 does. 7 doesn't go into it, but 8 does. And then we're back at 9, and we already have 9, so we have found them all. This is a minus 72. That means my signs have to be different, so you're going to find the difference of these two numbers. And I always like to write my bigger number first because I really just want to know the difference in the numbers. So the difference between 72 and 1 is 71. 36 and 2 is 34. 24 and 3 is 21. 18 and 4 is 14. 12 and 6 is 6. And 9 minus 8 is 1. So I'm looking for what gives me 14. And 18 minus 4, or the difference between 18 and 4 is 14. So we want a positive 14. So 18 minus 4 is a positive 14. If we do 4 minus 18, that gives me a negative 14, and that's not what I'm looking for. So I'm going to use a positive 18 and a negative 4. We're going to do this problem right here. We're going to find the factors of 40. 40 times 1, 2 times 20. 3 doesn't go into 40. 4 times 10. 5 times 8. You're going to add them because that's a positive 40. So that's 41. That's 22. That's 15. 13. And that's 13. I'm going to use 10 and 4 because that gave me a positive 14. And a positive 10 plus a positive 4 gives me a positive 14. And these signs are really, really important. So just let you know, they are very important. If you get the wrong sign, you're going to get the wrong answer. So let's do this one. What multiplies and gives me 30? 30 and 1, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. 4 doesn't go into 30, but 5 and 6. This is a positive 30, so again, I'm going to add them. That gives me 31, 17, 13, and 11. So I'm looking for a negative 11, okay? A negative 11. So positive 6 plus positive 5 is positive 11. But if I take negative 6 and add it to negative 5, that gives me negative 11. So both signs need to be negative. Here's a little hint, and you're going to get practiced on this, after this video. Here's a hint. If you add the factors, the signs must be the same. If you find the difference, the signs must be different. And that's really, really important. Okay, the last part of the factoring is called the greatest common factor. And that keyword greatest, that means the biggest. Factor means that it's divisible by it, okay, of the expression. And again, this is just factoring. This isn't like the factoring we just did because this personally isn't a trinomial. Now, there's going to be some trinomials that all you have to do is pull out the GCF. All right, so looking at the numbers 6 and 9, the biggest number that will go into 6 and 9 is 3. So we know that's a part of our GCF. When I pull out a 3, you're going to have stuff left over. Remember, factoring is reverse distributive property. So you can check your answer by doing distributive property. Now, the variables are a little bit different. You don't look at them like what is divisible by, even though that's what you are, but you don't. This has 2 n's because it has n squared. This has 1 n. They have 1 n in common because if somebody has $2 and somebody has $1, they only have $1 in common. So that's where that n's coming from. And so what you're going to do is you're going to divide by 3n because that is my GCF. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. I had 2 n's, but I gave it away, so that left me 1 n. Positive 9 divided by 3 is 3. I had an n and I gave it away, so I don't have an n anymore. And so this will be my final answer. And you've got to make sure that you always check for GCF. GCF is like one of those factoring techniques that you just have to check for over and over. Every factoring problem. All right, so this is a trinomial, and that's okay. You can still do GCF. It might not always be a number that you see up there, but sometimes it is. And you always have to make sure that you pull out the biggest GCF. Okay, that's why it's called greatest common factor. So let's look at the numbers first. 4, 20, and 56. The biggest number that goes into all of those is definitely 4. Then you look at the variables. This has 2 x's, this has 1 x, and this doesn't have any. So they don't have any x's in common. So we're not going to pull out those x's. And so our GCF is 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, but you don't have to write it, and there is an x squared. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And negative 56, divided by 4 is negative 14. You can then check to see if this factors because A is 1. But right now, I just want you to leave it here because this does factor more. Okay, looking at this first one. The GCF of 7 and 21 is 7. So we're going to pull out a 7. You write it on the outside. That leaves me n squared minus 3. Looking at 9, 9, and 18. The biggest number that goes into all those is 9. They don't all have x's, so we're not going to pull any x's out. And so we're going to divide each one of them by 9. So that leaves me x squared plus x minus 2. All right. The biggest number that goes into 4, 8, and 12 is 4. They don't all have x's in common, so we can't pull out x's. So that leaves x squared plus 2x plus 3. And again, look at the numbers and the variables separately. Okay, you're not going to do worksheets. You're going to do a Delta Math assignment. So I'm going to give you one that has more variables in it because I want to practice that. So we will say 3x to the 4th plus 2x to the 3rd plus 9x. All right, so looking at the numbers, 3, 2, and 9, there's not a number that goes into all those. 3 does go into 9, but it doesn't go into 2, and 2 definitely doesn't go into those, so we're not going to pull unnecessarily a number out. So let's look at the variables. We have 4 x's, this one has 3 x's, and this one has 1 x. So how many do they have in common? If somebody has $4, somebody has $3, and somebody has $1, what's the most amount that they can give equally? And that's that $1. So we're going to pull out an x. And when you pull out an x, it's like you're taking it away. So this had 4 x's. So now it's got 3 x's. That had 3 x's, so now it has 2 x's. That 1 x, and I gave it away, so that one doesn't have any more x's. And you're going to have lots of practice. If you have any problems, email me, and I'll be glad to answer. And have a great day.